Hello Lumberjacks, I'm Blaine Williamson.
And I'm Alex Morales. You're watching SFA TV2 Nac Edition.
Today we're going to be discussing some Halloween festivities, SFA football, and get students' opinions on a controversial topic. We're also hosting an interview with Katrina Toms and Brady Wilmuth, cadets from the ROTC program at Stephen F. Austin State University, to talk about their experience at the ROTC Ranger Challenge. The Huber Gardens of Nacogdoches, Texas are known for their gourmet garlic. They provide garlic for people and vendors all over Texas. On top of being experts in growing garlic, the Hubers have a passion for showing off their hard work. Every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., people are welcome to visit the Huber Gardens at 1523 County Road 713 in Nacogdoches, Texas. Upon arrival, you are greeted by woodworks created by Bruce. You're invited to explore and even pick from the pumpkin patch and wildflower fields grown by Tanya. Fresh brewed coffee and homemade pumpkin bread is also available for you as you browse at the shop. Don't forget to walk off your breakfast in the scenic nature trail. Just be sure to keep an eye out for deer. The Huber Gardens are open to the public Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. For more information about your visit to the Huber Gardens, visit their website at www.huber-gardens.com.
And spooky season just passed, which means it was a great time for scares, candy, and costumes. With Halloween having happened, people got their costumes and Halloween decorations ready for the scariest time of the year. The best place to get ready for Halloween season was none other than Spirit Halloween. Among the most popular costumes for the kiddos this year were Barbie, Mario, Buzz Lightyear, Elsa, and an abducting alien. For adults getting in costume this year, you might have seen Batman, Superman, the Joker, an astronaut, and also Barbie. And if you couldn't get to any of those costumes, or you were looking for a couple's costumes, the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce couple costume was on the rise in popularity and relatively easy to make. With all of these fun costumes available for Halloween, it was just hard to choose which one. And with Halloween having creeped up on us, it's also a good time to remind those celebrating to be cautious while celebrating and to find a roll and ride if you plan on drinking.
Now let's take a look at homecoming recap to see all the fun celebrations this university had to offer.
I'm Ella Mitchell for SFA TV2 Nac Edition. Here at the kickoff for the SFA Homecoming Week. It's going to be a fun, event-filled week, and this is just the beginning.
The kickoff event, hosted by SFA Experience, was on Monday night, and it was a great way to start the long-awaited homecoming week. Students were able to grab snacks like corn dogs and pretzels while voting for the organization they wanted to win homecoming court. To end the night, students cheered as the fountain was dyed purple. On Tuesday night, students formed teams to test their knowledge on pop culture, SFA, and history for trivia night. This event was hosted by Lone Star Trivia, and win or lose, it was a great opportunity to have fun with your fellow lumberjacks. The competitions didn't just stop at trivia. On Wednesday night, the Recreation Center hosted a dodgeball tournament where many Greek life groups and philanthropic organizations fought for victory. Students and members of the community participated in the 14th annual 5K race on Thursday night. Participants began at the Student Center, running through all of campus, which was decorated with homecoming banners, and through the SFA garden trails. This event was hosted by the Recreation Center, Alumni Association, and local restaurant Brendan's Barbecue.
To end the homecoming celebrations, students, faculty, and community members gathered for the annual bonfire and homecoming concert. This year we had co-headliners Pat Green and Haley Wooders performing, and at the concert they announced that candidates from Dancers Against Cancer and Sigma Chi won homecoming court. Thank you for celebrating homecoming with us.
Flu season is starting to ramp up in East Texas, but the CDC, partnering with CVS, has provided tips for us to prepare. According to the CDC, influenza type A, which includes the two most common subtypes of flu, accounts for 45% of cases in Texas. Influenza type B, a very contagious strain, accounts for 55% of cases. While the current flu risk prediction in East Texas is still very low, CVS has provided helpful flu prevention tips to get vaccinated. CVS provides vaccinations for pneumonia, COVID-19, and more. Visit your neighborhood CVS or Minute Clinic to explore vaccine options and stay up to date on your medications. If you're under the weather, CVS has products to help you with your recovery. Consider getting tested for any illnesses. Treatment options can be most effective when done early. The sooner you understand what your illness is, the sooner you can get back to feeling like yourself.
That's all for the news. Now we turn to some Brady for some insight on the SFA Lumberjack football team.
The Lumberjack football team has had a rough season with a record of 3-4 this year. However, they stayed hard at work to perfect their craft. They continued the season with a homecoming matchup against Abilene Christian Wildcats, who are dead even at 3-3. The Lumberjacks looked to capture their third home victory this year, but came up short by a very needed 7. With starting quarterback Brian Maurer out with a shoulder injury, senior backup Preston Weeks stepped up and performed well, going 24 for 40 with 278 yards in the air with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Running back Jarrell Wembley rushed for 165 yards on 20 carries, averaging 8.8 yards per carry. The running game was great for the Lumberjacks, but the Wildcats had something to say also. Abilene Christian ran the ball with determination, and the Lumberjacks couldn't stop it. The Wildcats had 272 yards on the ground, averaging 6.6 yards per rush. ACU's quarterback Maverick McIver also gained 2 passing touchdowns for 140 yards. SFA's Chris Campos kicked a 36-yard field goal to tie up the ballgame at 27. With 6:20 left, McIver completes a 10-yard pass to the tight end to go up a touchdown. The Lumberjacks try to march down the field and end up at ACU's 37 with 40 seconds left. 4th and 6, Preston Weeks with little time throws a ball to Josh Thompson by the sideline, and Thompson drops the ball broken up by the Wildcat defense, costing the game for the Lumberjacks. 34-27 was the final score, leaving SFA 3-5 and last in their conference. It will be interesting to see how Coach Carthel will bring the Lumberjacks back to last year's success of winning the conference title. They will face the 6-3 Tarleton State Texans this Saturday, November 4th in Tarleton at 6 p.m. For sports, I'm Brady Hogan-Lyle.
Thank you, Brady. Next, we have an exciting interview with some of the SFA ROTC cadets about their recent Ranger Challenge. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. We have some exciting guests joining us in the studio today. Today I have Katrina Toms and Brady Wilmuth, team members who participated in this year's ROTC Ranger Challenge for SFA. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
Good. All right, so first question, kind of give us an overview of what the Ranger Challenge is exactly.
So Ranger Challenge, you have 9 people competing and you bring 2 alternates, so 11 in total. And it's a very physical event. You go from place to place, completing different tasks. So you'll have marksmanship, land nav, all of these different tasks that we'll complete, and the other one's a fitness test. But it's very physical, and then testing how well you can do when you're tired.
Got you. And so you mentioned kind of a little bit all of the different events. So I have, your basic rifle marksmanship that's obviously, down the range, how you're well in the range. Can you kind of give us a little bit of explanation of day and night orienteering?
Yeah, so we got quizzed on day land nav and night land nav. So basically land nav is you have a map and you have some grid coordinates and you use a protractor and you find out where you are and where your points are, and then you have a compass and you go out and try to find those points in the day and in the night.
In orienteering, normally each point will be about 3 kilometers from your starting position.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, I think our guys said they traveled almost 5 miles throughout that 3-hour time period, finding their points and navigating to those through brush and heavy shrubs.
Wow, and I feel like even daytime's a lot easier than nighttime, right?
Oh, yes.
Do y'all have a favorite event that y'all do?
I have to say the fitness event.
Yeah.
I might be a little biased, but I love that and having the whole team around me and doing that, especially over some of the other
I got you. And so what do you do in the fitness event actually?
There's always different ones that happen throughout it, but you're definitely there'll be some type of sprint drag carry. So we did 180-pound sled drag, 260-pound litter carry. There was a 2K sprint that you had to do throughout the whole thing. You'll do kettlebell carries for 200, 300 meters we had to do. It was insane. It was a big event this year.
Gotcha. So that's the physical activity you said.
Yes.
And then Brady, did you have a favorite?
I think the hand grenade lane. So for the hand grenade lane, you would have to identify what the name of the hand grenade was. you had to identify the nomenclature, and then if how well you did on the test, you went and threw the grenades, and you got graded on accuracy. So it was pretty fun to see
So
how
you're
close
literally
you could
like
get.
throwing grenades like that. I feel like that would be kind of cool. That would be pretty cool. So going over the rest of the events here. We went over the marksmanship, the orienteering, the assembly and disassembly sounds pretty straightforward, just how far you can take a pat at the gun. I did have. Yeah, that was it. That was all the events. You guys covered it. Good job. So this is obviously very taxing on like both your mind and your body. How do you physically prepare for this?
So we train pretty hard at the beginning of the school year up until the competition. But I feel like our team really we don't we're when we need to turn it on, we turn it on. But I think our team is very lax, and we kind of all match each other's energy, and we're all pretty lighthearted on the team.
I got you. So what does one of y'all's like physical like PT practice for this look like?
So normally we would do 5 days a week of PT. There'd be a long run incorporated. We'll have another like 2 ACFT type, so strength days incorporated with like HIIT cardio. And then we also have like a ruck. So a 35-pound ruck, we would normally go for we went for time. So we would do 2 to 3 mile repeats with a 35-pound ruck on.
Golly.
And you're just trying to get at that 10-minute pace to try and see if we can keep that for the ruck during the competition.
Yeah, that seems kind of insane to me. If you told me I had to go rucking through it with anything in a backpack on at all, I'd just look you in the face and kind of laugh. So this is a team event. How well does the team aspect play into this challenge?
I think it's the biggest part of the challenge. None of us would I don't think I would have made it through this last challenge without these guys. Some of the physical events are really hard, and without them, just one, keeping a light attitude and not getting super serious, and I think our team does a really good job of it. But they just sometimes one person's dying and the other one's feeling good at the time because it's a 3-day long event, and they're the ones pulling the rest of the team along, just making sure we get through that adverse point and move on.
I got you.
Especially on the 3rd day when everybody's tired.
Oh, yeah.
And you have 0 sleep. You can rely on the person next to you.
I could imagine how that would be a little sketchy. So is this y'all's first Ranger challenges y'all been a part of?
This is my 5th competition.
Got you.
We've both been in Ranger Challenge all 3 years that we've been in ROTC, so we've both went through a good couple competitions.
Got you. Do y'all have a favorite memory being a part of the Ranger Challenge?
It was a horrible day, but
Oh,
it
no.
was probably my first competition ever, or the second competition ever. First time I had ever rucked, because I was part of track. I wasn't in ROTC.
Okay.
And we called it was a huge 800-meter hill.
Yeah.
And so one of the old guys on the team just grabbed my shirt and just yanked me up that hill. He's like, "You're not stopping." And I think we all walked up that hill, but it was awful.
Yeah.
But it was a great memory. It was great, and I just kept walking and kept getting drug along.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite memory too. It was I felt like we were climbing Mount Everest because it was
Really?
so tall. I think I think I blacked out
Me too.
climbing up the hill. But
Yeah, this sounds incredible. So what is the biggest struggle of being a part of the Ranger Challenge?
I think it's so taxing on your body. It's 5 days a week for a good 2.5, 3 months. I think that's the biggest struggle, at least for me.
Just waking up every day and keeping that amount of motivation and knowing that everybody else is at a low, and if you bring that negative energy, it can bring the whole team down. So really just faking it kind of till you make it sometimes on that, and keeping that motivation high and keeping your intensity high throughout long periods of time.
So kind of going off of that, how do you make sure that motivation stays high, especially with it's obviously you said 5 days a week, just taxing on your body?
You incorporate light joking moments, don't take everything seriously.
Yeah.
We're here to work out hard, but as long as you're working out hard, just laugh and joke through it, and I
Yeah.
think we do a really good job
Yeah,
of
I
that.
feel compared to other teams that we've seen at competitions, they're always super stressed. They're always keeping their eye on the prize, but we know when to turn it on and when to turn it
yeah, you
off.
kinda know.
But we also know how to joke around as a team.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys know how to do that. And thank you guys so much for joining us. And stay tuned. Next up, we have some very exciting Halloween events and some controversial opinions from the SFA students, so stay with us.
Welcome back to Nac Edition. Nacogdoches had another successful Halloween this year, but a neighboring town just north of Nacogdoches upped the ante with its horrifying haunted house. Garrison Haunted House, located on 666 Elm Street, opened their doors at the beginning of October and invited guests to be scared every weekend up until Halloween. Not only do they have spectacular reviews online, they are also a community-driven haunted attraction, taking in members around the town as well as college students from SFA to help build and act inside the house. With the haunt being both in and outside the building, it's no wonder why people are coming from different towns to go through the haunt themselves. I talked to Fire Chief Ricky Cole about the history of the building, why they decided to do a haunted house, and how long it takes to go through the entire attraction, as well as going through the attractions ourselves to find out how scary the haunt really is. Take a look.
The police chief at Garrison, Tim Barton, and 2 or 3 of our members come up and wanted to do a haunted house. Well, we kicked it around, thought about it, said we'd try it. And it's been a success ever since. This will be our 6th year. Well, this spot where we're at now at the old nursing home, the owners donated it to us for use. They let us use it for the haunted house, you know, to try it out. Then he let us use it 3 years in a row, I believe it is, up the 3rd year, then we bought it the 4th year. So he ended up selling it to us, and, which has been good. It's been good. And the address is 666 Elm Street. So you think about that, it's going to be haunted in some kind of way. When you buy your tickets, purchase your tickets, they'll tell you a safe word. So if you get in and get too scared, you want to come out, you holler the safe word. We have multiple exits where we can get somebody to turn the flashlight on and lead you outside to get you away from it. Anywhere from 6 to 8 months out of a year is what we worked on it to redo it. 'Cause we try to redo it every year to make different stuff, make it a little different, you know. So from the time you enter the first room, which is our 3D room, till you get out the other end, approximately 25 minutes. So, but once you get inside, maybe, I think it's 13 to 14 minutes. Just be prepared. Come and have a good time and tell other people about it.
So our producer Andrew and I went through the haunted house ourselves just to like find out how scary it was.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that it's definitely up there. And I've been to a lot of haunted houses throughout the years, and I gotta say this is a very scary one that we went through.
You see, I am not a big haunted house person.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like jump scares. I enjoy Halloween. It is one of my favorite holidays. I mean, you get to go out and eat candy and everything like that, but it's not a big jump scare. Like, I don't like being scared. I don't like being out of control with anything.
I think what I like most about like haunted houses is the relief afterwards, that, you know,
It's over.
It's not only that it's over, but like after the jump scare, you get like that little shock inside of you, but then you laugh it off. Like everything is all perfect, everything's good. It's just a fun memory.
But see, then after I come out of the haunted house, that's when I'm like, is it really over? Like, is it actually like someone's gonna come out and get me? Like, it's just terrible. I don't like scary movies. That's one of my things. I just don't like. I'm just really not a big fan of the scary part of Halloween. I like the candy part. It's not scary.
For sure, easily. I think whenever a haunted house has you thinking like, is it over? When it is over, I think that's when it did a job really well.
That's true. You know, and that's kind of my controversial hot take. And speaking of controversial hot takes, we do have a controversial opinion about a specific Halloween topic. With this, we send it to Jonathan.
Welcome, my name is Jonathan Allen here on SFA TV2, walking around campus asking one of the most controversial Halloween questions ever. Do you like candy corn? Today I'm here with
Macy, Carolina,
Miley.
Jada, Ansley Gulledge,
Cam.
and today, man, I have a very controversial question for you. How do you feel about candy corn?
the pumpkin ones are better than the regular ones.
So,
No, they're not good.
they're pretty mid. I love candy corn. It's the best candy to eat during the Halloween season. So
I love candy corn. I actually have a bag in my dorm room right now with the little candy pumpkins that I was gonna go eat.
the pumpkin ones too?
The pumpkin ones, because those are better than the actual corns, and I don't like the brown ones.
You don't like the brown ones?
No.
So what makes candy corn so good?
It's just so fall, and it tastes delicious. I know everyone hates the taste. I love it.
Absolutely disgusting. I hate it. Can't stand it.
Today I'm here with
Becca.
And Becca, I have a very special question for you. How do you feel about candy corn?
I like candy corn.
Just simple like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Why?
There's nothing good about it. It doesn't taste like anything.
This is-
And if it does taste like something, it's like chalk.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
But a lot of people
there's
like
nothing
it.
good about it.
Yeah, I don't really care for it either. It just kind of tastes like sugar. Like,
It's
I don't.
essentially right. Like,
It's
it's like
not.
plastic.
It's not great. It's not great.
I just feel like there's better choices out there for Halloween.
So
you know?
many better choices. I'd rather have like black licorice, honestly.
That's gross too. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it should be illegal. It's the most disgusting thing in the world.
I hate it.
It's disgusting. It's too sweet.
It's too sweet.
I love candy corn. Oh, I love it. Best thing on planet.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Personally, I can't stand it, but that's besides the point. Here at SFA TV 2, I'm Jonathan Allen.
Well, I definitely have to disagree with Jonathan there. I love candy corn.
I mean, I love candy corn myself, but just in very small quantities. But
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites, I think.
I do. It's probably one of the best things about Halloween.
It's easily like a childhood favorite for me, and I could have it like any time of the year.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of Nac Edition. We'll see you next time.
And remember to
Thank-
axe 'em jacks.